So I've heard a lot of YouTubers say, I am my niche. I am the most unique thing in the world. And so just by me being me, I'm going to stand out on this platform. But from the audience's perspective, it sort of looks like this. I am my niche. I'm super unique. I'm here to help you. I'm gonna be more me so that I can stand out on this platform. You see, it's easy for you to know who you are, for you to recognize yourself, especially amongst a crowded group of other people in blue shirts. But think about it from an audience's perspective. They have no idea who you are. So when you dance around, wave your arms around, give value like this, it might not stand out as much as you think. To solve this problem, you need to know yourself extra well, extra clearly, develop a level of self-awareness that's really high, so that even if a person walked into your channel blind, you could guide them. Tell your story in a way where they can see a clear image of who you are. Today's video is the first part in a series showing you what it actually looks like to build your YouTube channel into something that's clear, compelling, and stands out. In part one, we're focusing on digging up ingredients for our YouTube smoothie. How can we develop that super sharp self-awareness so that we can tell our story clearly? This series is cut up from a real consulting call, which brings me to a really important point. If you're looking for a step 1, step 2, step 3, digestible tactics, digestible strategies, if you're just looking for tips, tricks, nudges in the right direction, you should watch my YouTube series right here. But if you're one of the people who messaged me for more specifics, more clarity, what does this sorting process actually look like? This series is exactly for you. These videos are going to be longer because it's real dialogue, real conversations, real process, but I promise I will not waste your time. I'm gonna do everything I can on my end to make it as entertaining, clear, concise as possible. And I'm gonna trust on your end if this series is exactly what you need, you're gonna be okay that the videos this week might be a little longer than normal. All right, enough chatting. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, buckle up, let's get right into it. So this month I got to work with Diego, one of my best friends.
It's going great. Amazing, man. I've been doing YouTube for almost 2 years. Those 2 years, I would say it was a learning experience for me to find what I wanted to do, because I started doing motivation. My channel is about filmmaking in Spanish. I want to be like a filmmaker from Mexico, because there's no like one specific filmmaker from Mexico. I'm close to 400 subscribers.
How many people are regularly engaged with your videos?
I would say between 50 and 60, something like
50,
that.
60?
Oh,
All right, can you see this?
Holy, this is fancy.
So when I brought up what we should work on today, what challenges or storytelling problems are bothering you with your YouTube channel right now, the number one thing that came up was how to merge all of the different interests Diego has and his personality into something that's clear and stands out in a YouTube format.
Kind of like that though, but I don't know, that's where I'm confused. And right now, because I have a project, so that's gonna consume a lot of my time. So while I'm here in Bakersfield, I'm working on tutorials and something that people can actually learn from, either experiences or like something more like at home. And then when I travel, I'm gonna try to do more like travel videos, because I knew that's what helped me to grow more. I mean, I'm gonna start doing more like I do, kind of like blog style. I don't know, I'm trying to mix it, but yeah.
So I see a lot of scattered things going on with your channel. I think that they're consistent things, right? It's always camera related. There's some traveling in there, there's some vlogs stuff in there. But in terms of how it fits together, it changes a lot, right?
Yes. I do want to help people out. Like, I think that's also a main priority for me, like do something that really impacts people, because I didn't have that when I started.
Okay, well that's good to let's go to the ingredients section.
Oh shit. Now this is nice.
So the ingredients section, I encourage people to list out all the different qualities they bring to the table. You're really good at filmmaking, right?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, but that's something you bring to the table, right?
Yes.
You're not gonna be like a cooking channel. The literal section, you list out the more obvious stuff you might put on a resume or talk about in a pitch.
Eric, this is so amazing what you're doing right now. Like for my, I mean, yeah.
I hope it can make sense. We're gonna keep going, right?
Yeah.
Cameras.
Tutorials?
You're younger, right?
Yeah.
You're not like 50 years old?
No.
Not yet. Skills, talents, passions, your background, where you're headed in the future. And in the abstract section, list out all the different things you bring to the table that are less tangible.
It could be kind of like it's motivation in a sense.
We're gonna put that in the not literal.
Energetic.
You're pretty energetic. Values, character traits, how you communicate, personality. Good looking. No,
Well, I mean, I want you said it. I mean, I was gonna say it, but yeah.
What are some other things that you might want to incorporate? That side project that you were talking about earlier, what are you doing with that, right? You're making cinematic videos to show off Mexico, right?
Yeah, to sell them to the tourism board, and even if they don't want to sell, to get the views and make money out of it, so we can travel and showcase Mexico to the people in the States that cannot go. It's actually growing a brand, growing a business, because
so right here, I noticed Diego speak up. You could see some extra enthusiasm, eloquence, clarity. When you're talking with friends, listen for random times when you speak up, when you bring a little burst of enthusiasm, clarity, eloquence to the table. Catch those moments, catch those topics, and make sure you write them down. Now we got into some more personal questions. Diego and I are friends, we know each other. In your average consulting call, it doesn't usually get this personal, but the more comfortable, natural it is to facilitate going deeper, usually the deeper you go, the more subtle stuff you can dig up and the more clarity you can find. Are you, in terms of like, your background, like, did you grow up in America?
no, I grew up in Mexico.
How long have you been making videos? And
I grew up in Mexico. Have
you always been like super rich? Like, what's the background?
Okay.
So here I'm asking questions I obviously know the answer to because I know him. Diego has very interesting, unique things about his background, but they weren't top of mind for him because he lived it. It's his reality. There's some very powerful, special ingredients you have that you've probably forgotten about, that you probably take for granted. In this sorting process, it's really bringing things to the table. You don't need to use all these ingredients, but put them all out on the table so that you know what you're working with. Quick version.
Struggle with money.
Struggle with money, like struggle how to manage money, or like not having enough money?
Not having enough money as a kid.
Okay.
I always had food, a roof, a school, whatever, but not like to get my stuff, you know. Grew up in Mexico, raised in Mexico, born in the States. I was insecure.
Which is sort of where the motivational angle comes in too, right?
I think so. Self-taught.
Oh yeah, for sure. With the camera stuff, that's huge. What else?
No school. I don't know. I didn't go to school.
No school. How does family tie into this? Relationships? I mean, you don't need to go into detail. Yeah. And if you want me to delete anything, I can. But like,
no, it's fine.
What are you building towards in the future?
I really want to have I want to have my wife. You know, I want to get married and really have the time to enjoy life. Like I've seen my dad work so hard and yeah, have a family, freedom. Yeah, financial freedom. Just be happy, you know, like, everybody wants to be happy, but yeah, financial freedom for sure. And the Lamborghini, that's the cherry on top. Which I know it's a materialistic thing, but once I get the Lamborghini, I want something else, you know.
Well, usually it's like what the car and all the toys, all that stuff represents, right? Which is like... Yeah.
But honestly, I don't know if I really told you what I want to do with my life. Like the reason why I made the agency, which I always wanted to build the agency, it's because every product needs a customer, so the agency is the middleman, like the machine that will produce, getting the customer, growing the businesses, selling the businesses, and then start real estate. And that's how I will have freedom. And I want to make money not just for my lifetime, but as a future.
Yeah. So like legacy, right?
Yeah, legacy. I think it's important. Legacy is something that you work every single day.
Yeah, it's not just a money goal. It's you keep doing that for the rest of your life. Awesome. I think that's a lot of stuff. All right, now let's talk about the more abstract stuff.
Loyal, is that?
Yeah, sure. Dedicated, hardworking.
Dedicated, focused.
Okay, let's go into more like specifics on these. Like what type of funny would you say you are? What type of energetic? Let's break some of this stuff down.
Okay, so funny, I will say that I always try to find, I like to make people laugh. So I always try to find something relatable. I'm creative in that sense that you say something and I try to say something back relatable to what you said to make you laugh.
Is it pretty like in the moment, clever?
It's in the moment, yeah.
Entertain. Right. It's not just like a little idea in your head that you're keeping to yourself. Like it's usually like for others, right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm always like in a party in my head, you know, like super.
What about like focused in the moment, or like focused for stuff that's long term, like
long term? Yeah, like focus on the goal.
So it's not just like one day of hard work. It's like or like a little side projects here and there. It's like long term.
Long term, like your lifetime, my friend.
Okay. Yeah, that's why we're good friends. Do you often get distracted from your work, or is it like people have to join you on your path, or is it more
It's a mix of both. Like I think
right?
that in your
Like where's
circle,
socializing coming in?
I'm a really sociable guy. I'm really good connecting with people. But I mean, I don't know if this is kind of selfish, but I think a relationship it's an investment no matter what, right? Either a friendship, either it helps you to grow, whatever, but always with the intent of bringing something to the table for them and also taking something out of it, of that relationship that is going to help us grow both. Like, for example, friendship, you, for example. So if I'm investing in a relationship with you, that means that we're going to grow together. And no matter what happens, we're like, if you fall, I'm going to lift you up. And that's what I
Yeah.
like. I look in relationships. And that's going back to loyalty. That's super important for me. If
Yeah.
you're not loyal and I see something small that you're not loyal, you're gone for life. And I'm not gonna stop and dwell like, oh, you've been my friend for so long. I
Yeah.
don't have time for that. I think my goals are bigger than that, you know. And
Yeah.
yes, I'm a lonely wolf sometimes.
Okay. So how would you categorize that? Just that's too complicated for my diagram. You're
Yeah.
too complex, Diego.
I know. I'm unique. Ha ha ha.
No, but yeah, so I get that. So it's a push and pull. You're very focused on your goals.
But I mean, if
I
you
would
have to put one, you can put a lonely wolf. Like I'm not gonna wait for anyone. Like I don't need my friends to push me.
self-motivated.
Yes,
That's a good one. I think that's a good qualifier for hardworking, right? It's more specific. It's like
you have to like.
yeah. And you're also quite ambitious, right? You're always like, oh, I'm gonna buy the Cybertruck.
Yes, I am ambitious.
What else? What else is pretty unique to you?
I would say, I mean, that's funny, but the sense of humor, like the way I take things, like I don't take life seriously in a way that, oh, I'm gonna have to be super worried. Like when we talked about having a bad day, I know
Right.
it's only one day. Like I know I have to go through it and let my emotions.
Uh-huh.
Self-aware, yeah, perspective. I see things in a different way. Self-awareness. If I'm sad, I like, okay, why am I sad? Like I'm really
Right. So it's like, yeah. That's good. Like you don't like push down your feelings. You actually listen to them.
no, you have to feel them. Emotional intelligence will be one.
Cool. And then in terms of how you like maybe help others, right?
Yeah.
Is it usually giving advice? Do you entertain them? Like
I would
what's
say
going on?
giving advice and giving them my time.
Well, let's break down the advice thing now. What type of advice do you give people? Solutions, or do you listen to their feelings?
Find root or
Okay.
cause, check the patterns. I don't want to give a solution because a solution is not giving you, like, you're not going to learn from it. You have to find the solution your own way, in my opinion.
It's like a sounding board. Like you sort of just like walk them through it.
Yep.
Is it pretty like analytical, or is it more like chill? If someone is not listening to it or stuck, like what do you do? Do you get like more energetic to convince them, or is it more like you're like, oh, I get what you're saying, man. Maybe we can come back to this in a week, like.
If they don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. Like, why would I waste my time?
Okay, so
I'm
it's
like
sort of
super straight. I'm straightforward.
Yeah.
Like,
you're like present with them, but you're not gonna get like sucked into other people's problems.
correct.
Okay, what else?
But I have to tell you this. You know what's my biggest fear?
Sure.
It
What?
sucks. I mean, I'm not trying to damage anyone or anything, but being average, content, that's what freaks me out. That's why comfort zone freaks me out. I feel that I always have to,
Said comfort zone freaks you out?
Yes.
Like how much?
Like, it gets me anxiety.
So being in your comfort zone actually scares you.
Yes. I don't like comfort zone. That's why I always try new things and always, push, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. I didn't know we can do so much about me, but shit.
Breaking down these topics, motivational, energetic, focused, funny, relationships, how do they like helping people? What type of hardworking are you? What type of advice do you give? And instead of just stopping there, we sort of broke it down into like subcategories, got it more specific. And as we've gone, right, you can see how your type of hardworking is different from someone else. One person's hardworking might be 9-to-5 job, super dependable. They show up every single day to work, never take sick days, right? Your
Yeah.
version of hardworking is you have a vision and no one's going to stop you, right?
Yeah.
And you're sort of like focused on your thing, you're going towards it no matter what. People come your way, you help them, but in the big picture, you're like super focused, right?
Yeah.
That's a different version of hardworking. And
That's
as
true.
we sort of break down or ask these questions, you get insight, you start building a picture of who you are. And I wish we could do this all day, but we can't. This is what I mean when like find ingredients for your YouTube channel. You really have to, like, even these long-term about what, perspective about what, growing together for what, you know, like every single one of these can be broken apart into like probably 3 more layers down, like, and that's not exaggerating. That's how you get a sense of what you bring to the table specifically. And again, I know that not everyone's brains work like this, but
Like honestly, my brain doesn't work like this.
yeah,
Like, to be honest,
which is totally fine.
and that's what makes you unique, you know? Like realistically, that's what makes you Eric, you know? Like you are so good at this.
Thanks, man.
That without your help, I would never have even the patience to sit down and break my, because
yeah,
you know, like,
well, this is where I like self-awareness, because, and this is my type of self-awareness that I like. So what I encourage you guys to do is you start off, you make a list of all of these topics, right? And first you start off with these very basic adjectives: focused, funny, whatever. And you just keep going, like throughout your day, you go, okay, how am I funny? Okay, what? And then you start writing them down. This doesn't need to be like a one brainstorming session where you work out everything about you. No, it's like over a long period of time, you start noticing, why did I get mad about that guy being closed-minded? Why did that frustrate me? Oh, why did this person really bother me? And you start writing down all these clues, and you start getting a sense of, oh, that's sort of weird that I reacted that way and my friend didn't react that way. Maybe this is touching on like some core values. And that's when you start like reorganizing these Post-it notes, right, to a different cluster, and you go, oh wow, this is like pretty unique to me. Like it really bothers me when people settle, or when they don't listen to my advice, or when they don't value the time that I'm giving them, right? This stuff where before over here, this is pretty average. Like a lot of people are funny.
Yeah.
But then you start to figure out your specific type of funny, your specific type of ambitious. And once you start synthesizing these categories, you start finding the areas where you're in the top, like you're an A+ at being obsessed with that, or like you're an A+ at being really valuing that, and it's very unique to you. Yeah. And you start adding them together into this recipe of like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I know that this is something I bring to the table, right? Some people with your lone wolf thing, some people wouldn't be able to do that. Like 9 out of 10 people would not be able to do that. But for you, it's like you just shrug your shoulders. You're like, yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. Scared of comfort zone. Who does that, right? It's very unique to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And even these story things that you brought up before, right? This is very specific. And same with stuff like in your future. Agency? Who has an agency in their future? That's specific to you. In this section, we broke down the more literal stuff of what Diego brings to the table. It's the stuff that we always focus too much on when we're trying to build our YouTube channel. We go, oh, I want to make travel videos. Okay. So you and like 5 million other people.
So true.
But like, it's when you tie travel suddenly with this, then you start getting more interesting combos, you know?
And going back to what you told me about me blogging and putting the funny things and telling a little bit of my background or stuff like that. So people have to connect with you, you know?
Right. Whenever you think you've found everything, wait a couple days and then dig deeper. Building self-awareness, it's an ongoing process. You're training yourself to see what you need to see to tell your story clearly. You're giving yourself more words, vocabulary to describe who you are and what you're bringing to the table. In part 2, released in a couple days, we're gonna be focusing on what it looks like to clarify the mission of your YouTube channel. If you wanna see it right when it gets released, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And one last thing, For all of you guys who made it all the way to the end of the video, I have a little insider gift for you. I have more full breakdowns, recordings, consulting calls that look just like this video, and I'm not planning on releasing them on this channel maybe for another month or so. I don't want to overwhelm the new subscribers with 2 full channel breakdowns back to back. But if you're someone who's really struggling with your channel right now, if you go into the description down below, click the link, sign up with your email, click the confirmation link. When this series is over, I'll send over a recording of another full building your YouTube niche breakdown video that you can learn from, and 100% for free. I'm excited to see you in part 2. You are the change maker of your own life. Let's think more deeply. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace. Bye.